Mr. Jingling, how you tingling with your trusty keys? I don't think that's the actual words to the song, but wow. It is the next to the last Thursday in December. We are staring down the road at Christmas, a couple of days away, and then a few days after that, we are done with 2023 and we start up again with 2024. By the way, if you didn't know who that was, that's Mr. Jingling, a character, a television personality from Cleveland, Ohio, my roots. And I grew up with him. He apparently is still alive. So look him up. Mr. Jingling, Cleveland. You'll find out everything you need to know. And we don't need all my own jinglinging. That'll just get obnoxious as the evening wears on. It's evening for me, but we will do that. I beg your pardon. Hey, well, it is a Thursday evening where I am, and welcome to ADRAMADA. I am Dave Rush, and this is another Dave Rush Ask Me Anything, Digital Alchemy. We're here because we like each other. Oh, yeah, and because we like to talk tech. And so I'm not going to drag all that out tonight. We talk about anything, though, here. We do a wide-ranging set of technical topics. I got some neat stuff in the news. It's all over the place. We got a nice little project tonight. A lot of fun, close to my own heart. We're not leaving Raspberry Pi territory today. I know, 2 in a row. I like them. You know I like them, so I do more of them. If you're watching this on the archive, you're not watching this live, this happened on Thursday, December 21st at the near end of 2023. In fact, I will break my news. I am not going to do a show a week from today, the last Thursday of 2023. So this is the last show of 2023. We're not canceling the show. We'll be right back in it. The first week of Janvier. But family's in town, and I want to devote my love and attention to them, and so I shall. And hopefully they will reciprocate and give me some love. So today is noteworthy because Christmas is just 4 days away. Hey, eep, op, ork, ah, ah. If you have not yet come over to visit our Discord server, why not? It's good. It's growing. It's growing slowly, but it is growing every day, a little bit, a little more. So there's a link in the chat feed. Please click on that link. Come on over, join it. It's a tech topics, and it's open topic, right? We talk about anything you want to talk about. Trying to think of it. Something clean. How to mow your lawn. Why you don't mow your lawn. Whatever. We got room. We've got a humor section over there. We got lots of tech sections over there, and we're willing to add and scrape around. We had a new member today. She's been a very long member of one of the Discord servers that many of us here also participate in. Nifty Glowing Cheese. And she kind of disappeared for a little while, and she popped up again in the last day or two. We talked, and I invited her, and she came right on over. She's a wonderful person. And I hope you'll come over and join us all in talk. If for some insane reason you ever feel the need to communicate with me, first of all, if I am awake and anywhere near a computer, I am logged into a pile of Discord servers. I hang out on any of them, especially the ADRAMADA Discord server, but any of the other ones that you know I hang out on, you kick me off a message and I will get it and I will respond. But if you would rather communicate with me via email, I have just posted 2 of my email addresses to the chat feed, and you are encouraged to join them. Hey, well, let's see who is here. We never have many people at the beginning, but it builds up as we go, and we get a lot more people coming on as the week goes on and watching on the archive. Hey, if you're watching it on the archive right now, you get a week off. But, hey, join us live. We would love some more interactivity on the show. We want to hear what you have to say. You can guide the show. in many respects. Digging the sweater. This was, I couldn't find my ugly Christmas sweater. I had an ugly Christmas party to go to a week ago. So I went and I picked up this thing. And of course, the next day in the cupboard, closet, oh, there it is. So I don't know if you can see this whole thing because I'm on time delay. But it was very popular. There were two of us at this particular party who had LEDs on their shirts. I hate LEDs. Yeah, I know. They're great. They're wonderful. Cheap LEDs have made the world a tackier place than it was. It used to be, it was something exotic. Even lights around the house. That was exotic. You love lights. I love lights too. I just think that they may get a little overused in some venues. Let's see, I was doing this. So who's here? Patricia Grace leads the pack. I tell you what, now I saw you in around 1 o'clock and that message just dropped off. But Patricia Grace popped in half an hour before showtime. 3 minutes later, Tullowit rechecks back in. And me and Tullowit and Patricia Grace, and we'll see who all is here. So let me see. My voice okay? Do I have deep voice? And in the meantime, let's do this. What? What? Oh, that is criminal. Okay, I have to do something criminal here. I missed something. I missed a step today in doing show prep. I got all the way up to the last microsecond, and then there it was. So I'm going to fix this because there's stuff on here that I need. At least we had Mr. Jingling. Okay, digging around here. We go. Oops, that was last week's. Here's today. Okay, we go to images, and then we go here, and we go to here, and into images. There we go. That's a much better show. Control C, go over here, Control V. Replace the file in the destination. No. Skip this file. Ask me to do it on all of them. Okay, don't. All right, we're done with that part. Now, I got to do this dumb thing. So we click on that. We change this. I'm sorry, guys. This is just insanely unprofessional, but it is what it had to be. Add a directory. It'll always be the right directory. Let's go up one and then come down and select it. And that's okay. And are we cooking here? No. Why? I added a whole bunch of new ones. I got images for you guys to see. Important ones. Why aren't they popping up in the slideshow? Slide 00, slide 00. I'm reading it right. They're alphabetical. That's why this thing picks things up. It's alphabetically. All right. That is just so weird. Why? Delete that. I'm sorry, I have to troubleshoot this for just a second. I gotta know why. I gotta know what. Because I know I'm gonna be in the middle of something cool. And oh no, there's only 8 there. All right, I'm gonna do something horrible. I'm going offline for a second. I'll be back in 20 seconds. All right, I'm back, and nothing changed, which means I picked a wrong folder. Oh, I sure did. I sure did. Okay, we can fix that. Goodness, my gracious. It goes here. I'm such an idiot. skip these files. All right. That's fixed. Now we reset this. There's something funky about OBS. If you ever use OBS Studio, it doesn't real-time update changes to folders where you have stored things. So you have to either restart OBS altogether or totally reconfigure the slide viewer by blasting away the folder that you were telling it to look in and then re-put in a new one. And there we go. There we go. Well, that chewed up a whole bunch of time, but now we are back in somewhat of business. All right, back on track. Sorry, guys. Anyways, so if I were to follow my outline again, last week we installed Alpine Linux on Raspberry Pi. Alpine is a very different kind of operating system. It's not a Debian and it's not a Red Hat Enterprise. It's pretty much its own thing. It got forked off another popular distro, but it's grown into its own independent thing. So small, compact, efficient, simple, secure. We'll visit Alpine again in the next couple of weeks because we're going to do an NTP lab on there and create an accurate clock for your household, your office, your whatever. All right, and then now does the slideshow move? Indy, why does the floor move? Okay. So this is today's show in a little bit. We're going to stick with the Raspberry Pi motif, and I'm going to use a stock operating system, a Raspberry Pi OS, and we're going to install the Brave browser on it. Brave's been around for Windows and Mac machines, and I have asked, begged, cried, screamed for a Raspberry Pi Linux version, and it's finally out. I started experimenting with it a couple of weeks ago. I don't know how long it's been out. It's probably been out for a couple of months, but I found it a couple of weeks ago, and I am stoked. One of the things I love about the Brave browser is its built-in awesome privacy and native ad blocking. Between Brave, 2 ad blockers that I've added to it, and my Raspberry Pi, I see 1% of the ads and pop-ups and stuff that everybody else sees when they go to the same sites. All right, let's get out of that. So what else is cooking on here this week? Upcoming shows. Next week, no show. It's Christmas. I had this idea about doing a Christmas show, kind of like the Thanksgiving show. Nah, enjoy the time with your family. I think on the first show of the year, we're going to do the Windows Firewall per Jason request. And the week after that, we're going to add a desktop to a version of Linux that doesn't come with a desktop. It's Christmas. We're not snowing here, and it's Houston. We don't get a lot of snow. But Christmas songs put me in a Christmas mood. And I especially like one of my favorite songs, of the traditional ones, We Wish You a Merry Christmas. And I like that song because it features blackmail. What? We won't go until we get some, right? You got to bring us some figgy pudding, or we won't go until we get some. So that's blackmail, right? How long does that last? The afternoon? These are carolers, right? They come to your house, they sing you a song, and now give us some pudding, some dessert. You know, it's the old British pudding. And they hold out, right? How long does that last? The afternoon, the evening, all night, a week? And so if you hold out, if you don't give them figgy pudding, what happens? Do they give up and go away? Do they continue to stay? Or do they up the ante a little bit, right? Bring us some figgy pudding. We'll kidnap your kids until we get some. Take them. Fine. We'll burn down your barn until we get some. I've been working on this song. We'll castrate your bull until we get some. Yeah, that's the kind of problem. We'll We'll put down your horses if we don't get some. So where does it end? It seems to me that if carolers come to your house and sing and ask for pudding, it's best to dish it out to them just as quickly as possible. I'm sorry, I've amused myself. I just love that idea. All right, back to slideshow here because, oh man, the slideshow is fun and interesting and fascinating today. Do that, move that, transition, and then go to the slideshow and move this. So, RPi News, right? Every week, I ordered Raspberry Pis on September 28th. I ordered 3 Raspberry Pi 5s, and they have piecemealed it. So Friday, day after the show last time, I checked the status, and what did it say? Yesterday, open the door. Oh yeah, it said the Ras Pi 5s have shipped. I got an email on Friday night that the 5s and their coolers have shipped. And this just opens up the door to so many cool experiments. I am beyond stoked. How stoked am I, you ask? Funny you should ask. So what I got here is a box with 3 power supplies, 3 Raspberry Pi coolers, the new style, it's designed for that, and 3 Raspberry Pi 5s. Yay! Beyond stoked. What am I knocking over? Oh, no. The Lost in Space B9 robot. Surprises. Okay, I haven't powered them on yet, so I don't have all the surprises. But there were 2 surprises I found when I opened them up. Or opened this one up anyways. Number 1, what I'm doing right now is exactly what I did when it first arrived. I got to open it up. And there it is. And this is horrible. Okay, what's wrong with this picture? What did I just do? What did the nice folks at Raspberry Pi just do that is bothering the heck out of me? This is not in an anti-static bag. It's in a paper cardboard box, which is just a great promoter of electrostatic discharge. So I've got some ESD bags upstairs, and I will be bagging these things up right quick. So that was surprise number 1, and very disappointing one. Surprise number 2, when it was released and all the news releases and everything came out, they said it will not fit in any of the current official Raspberry Pi 2, 3, 4 cases. And I didn't order a new official Raspberry Pi 5 case. I wanted to see and learn. The good news I found, I suspect that the reason that's true is because these things come with a cooler now, which makes the whole assembly taller and doesn't fit into those. But the good news is, I know you can't see them on here, but there's mounting holes in 4 places, and they are identically positioned to where the mounting holes were positioned in all of the previous models. We talked with Eben Upton about that a couple of years ago, and he said there are 2 things that we never intend to change. 1 is the mounting hole position, and 2 is the physical features of the GPIO port. So here is an older case, that's the bottom of one, that I printed a couple of years ago. And there it is, fits like a glove. Where do you go? Oh, there. I assembled this today. I'm trying to work with this sprained wrist, and it's not good for operating quickly. There we go. They all line up, and there's a Raspberry Pi 5 in a shiny new case. So Dave is very excited and very happy. I got something else over here I got to be bringing out for you. Okay. Woohoo! Next. I went to a Christmas party the other day, and when it was done, I was near Scott's house. So I rolled by Scott's house. He wasn't home, but as you may know, Scott does an amazing Christmas display every year. This year is no different. So I took a couple of quick pics of the house, told him that I was going to put him on the show tonight, and he was fine with that. And there is about a quarter of it. If you recall, last year or maybe it was the year before, he did Space on Earth. It was kind of a Space Center Houston theme, but the same deer. And there's a little broader view of his whole front yard. And over on the other side of the front yard. This was the Christmas party that I came from. And this is why I needed a new ugly sweater. You may recognize that fellow on, I can't tell, right or left. The one that ain't me. I just said the one with the white beard. Wait a minute. The one with less hair. That's the one. So he is out and about, and I have still nothing but wonderful things to say about him. If any of you guys over at my former employer are watching, that man is the only person who reached out from the whole freaking company to commiserate with me, and we talked, and nobody else. Not the person that fired me, not their boss, nobody in the board. I was just nobody, except, Mike and I have been friends as well as boss and employee, and then later on co-workers. Thank you, Mike, if you watch this, and to the rest of you, sadly, I don't find your treatment of myself and the other people that I know who are no longer with the corporation. Nobody's reached out to them and said, sorry, we'll miss you, anything. All right. Hey, so I found something fascinating. I'm working on a project, and what are you doing? Put that up there. Is it here? Yeah, okay, there it is. This is cool. So, tech weenies that you are, since I've been in this business, the late 70s, the early 80s, we've been through many storage device interfaces. Some of these ST506, you won't remember. IDE, PATA, SATA 1, 2, and 3, PCIe, and others. Not to mention, SCSI, RAID, all that good stuff. So PATA, old and dead many, many years ago, and yet I found a company who markets this. And they sell it to lots of other companies, and they relabel it and white box it. This exists. PATA SSDs with the old 40-pin connectors. And they come in all kinds of sizes, up to about 512. PATA had a size limitation and some speed limitations. But if for some insane reason you have an ancient old PATA-based computer lying around, you can pop that drive out of there if it still runs, clone it to this thing. You're going to need to get some old computers and old computer cloners or whatever. And you can bring it into the 21st century. Is that cool? Go to AliExpress. Look up PATA SSD. You'll find plenty of them. This last thing here, then I got a little bit of tech news, and then we'll do some stuff. We have a computer here at the house that is not under my control. And I'm not allowed to touch it. It is owned by my wife's employer. And if she gets up and walks away for more than a couple of minutes for a restroom break or something like that, it goes to sleep. Now, I've had computers like that in the past, and what you do, of course, is you wiggle your mouse. Well, if you're in the restroom or making tea or whatever, you have to run upstairs every 45 seconds or whatever it is, shake the mouse, and that's. So they made software, they made applications a while back, and they still exist, that will simulate mouse motion. Kind of interrupts the mouse thing and says, "I got you covered. I'll do some shaky moves," but we're not allowed to touch this computer, so I can't add that software. So my brother-in-law got this. It's battery powered, it's USB powered, and you set your mouse on it, and the little patterns under here fool the mouse into thinking the mouse is moving, and it sends mouse clicks, and it keeps your system alive. So I just thought that was nifty as all get out. A marvelous little solution. A bazillion years ago, I got a speeding ticket. I don't speed. But it was many, many years ago. And you're allowed to take a test online here in Texas to erase those points and erase the ticket and everything. And this was the same kind of thing. If you're idle for more than X amount of time, it thinks you're looking up stuff or doing something. And so I used the software to do that, but this was kind of a cool alternative. All right, I got 3 little news stories here, and that gets us caught up here. We won't go until we get some. Science in the news. Lower rates of pneumonia among hospitalized patients, patients in nursing homes whose immunity systems are weak, have been achieved with a very simple solution. Teeth brushing. At least once a day, twice a day, cuts the mortality rates as well as the infection rates for pneumonia massively in the 70-80% zones. So cheap fix. Keep grandma brushing her teeth. Keep great grandpa brushing his teeth. We get and report news regularly about quantum computing. And this is something that I never realized about all of this quantum computing news. They are building quantum computers. That's always the news. It's how many qubits. How do we control them? And we've done stories in here about, how to do error correction on them. But there has been not yet, until December 8th, a working, programmable, logical quantum processor. So the nice folks at Harvard, and they, I think, have teamed up with National, have created a 48 logical qubit computer that can actually execute hundreds of logical gate operations, code. It's programmable, and it's fault tolerant. It's error correcting. This is the first real powerful demonstrator computer. It works reliably. It's uninterrupted. It does quantum computation. This is an exciting advancement for quantum computing. I got fears about quantum computing, but the technological advancement is exciting. Next in the news. So the Raspberry Pi 5 came out, and along with it, out came Raspberry Pi OS that is backward compatible to all the other Raspberry Pis because it has drivers in there for all of the CPUs that have ever been used in the Raspberry Pi line. It doesn't work forward like that, though. The operating system that was designed bullseye for Raspberry Pi 4 doesn't work on Raspberry Pi 5. It doesn't have support for the CPU that's in the Raspberry Pi 5. So it was, until a couple days ago, the only OS that you could run on it. Armbian released in the last 2 days their version for Raspberry Pi 5. They released it on the 20th, yesterday. So Armbian is Debian for ARM single board computers such as Raspberry Pi, and that will lead directly to bookword changes and Ubuntu changes. You'll probably see that in the next couple of minutes. All right, that's all the news that's fit to print. See what's going on with you guys, and then we'll get on to a project. Hey, we're all right. We're right on schedule. How did that happen? Okay. That's you. That's me. Hey, news. Lots of stuff here. I did not have a pre-show toddy, but I do have tea. Your hand healing well. No, it is healing. It is healing slow. I am not an 18-year-old kid anymore. I will, having left my old company and their insurance policy, I've switched, not insurers, but I'm on my wife's policy now, and it's the same insurer. She works for a health insurance company, so that's kind of a natural. And I'm going to do my first foray into telemedicine tomorrow. I'm going to contact one of their telemed, they're usually nurses to my understanding, and describe the problem. And I suspect I'm going to wind up at an orthopod and get some x-rays just to make sure, or an MRI, that there's no torn ligaments. It looks like I've damaged two areas. I've damaged probably my wrist, possibly tore a ligament up here. I got a really bad thing here, and maybe some tendon damage on the back of my shoulder. I don't know. So it is healing. I just don't want to make sure that there's not like some partial tear of a ligament, because those things don't naturally heal. You got to get them back in, and they staple them and do their business here. Corporate wheels seem to roll over the wrong people. Pata. Is that like the tapping sound? Yeah, it's my pata. Very good. The pitter-patter of little pies. Reminds me of the downloads we used to use to keep AOL active. Right. That's exactly right. Got the same in Florida. Okay, I think that's not universal. Florida is weird. Let me drop into pilot mode. When you apply to work as a pilot for an airline, not surprisingly, you got to get some records from the FAA, and they want your driving records from 50 states. And there is one form that takes care of 49 of them. And then there's Florida. You have to do a special form, and they send it off to Florida and get your driving records in Florida. See if you've ever... why do they want your driver's license? You ask. My driving records or anybody else's. More than a certain threshold of tickets shows carelessness in operating transportation, and it will cost you a job. Or it'll cost you from getting a job. So, just interesting trivia if you're ever interested therein. Hey, all right. Well, let's talk about Brave. And we'll do this. I got a couple of slides, and then we'll do everything on real time. All right. So today's project is installing the Brave browser on Raspberry Pi. There are two ways to install a Brave browser on a Raspberry Pi. The easiest, quickest way is install Pi apps. I've done a couple episodes on that. In fact, here, I'll tell you what, I will give you a link to the Pi apps GitHub site. It has a how-to on there. And did I make a note of the show that I did it on? Yeah. No, I did not. Thought I did. Planned ahead and didn't. Oh, well. So you can get everything you need from the link I just posted in the chat feed. We're not going to use that method. We're going to do the hard way, because it's not that hard and it's instructive. So I do have Pi apps installed. Not going to use it. But if you do, here, let me show it to you. how you would do this. So we've got to transition here, and then I got to fire up real VNC, which is ready to fire up. Really? Oh, that's something interesting. I left the real VNC ready to log in, and it said, hey, you haven't logged in a long time. I've killed out your ability to do that. SPBERRY. Okay, that's in. Now we share it mit OBS. Putty. No, I don't want putty. I want real VNC. Okay, so there is a fresh install, not of the newest version of Raspberry Pi OS. I went one version back. I went Bullseye, because that's what I tested this on when it first came out, and I haven't experimented yet with the new version. But if you want to do this, all you got to do is go into Pi Apps, and you go into Internet. It's a one click. You go into Browsers, and there's Brave. You would click it and say Install. So quick, easy, painless, cool. But we ain't going to do it that way. Logitech. No, I want the slideshow. Okay, back over to you, Wink. So we're going to do it manually. Slightly more challenging, but it's not a big deal. Here is the link if you want to do it on your own, get the step-by-step. They've got a screwed up step. It's a missing step. Just watch the show and then follow along on that tutorial if you feel like it. And the world will be a happy place. Okay, that's a good link. I'm not going to put a descriptor up there. And let me refresh this page, which you will never notice, so it's okay. All right, so what do I need for equipment? Any Raspberry Pi from the 3 on up. Brave needs a 64-bit operating system. The 1s and 2 models only had 32-bit CPU, so you need a 3, 4, or 5. And I'm using the legacy Bullseye Raspberry Pi OS. Probably the new one works fine, Bookworm, but again, I haven't tested it yet. You can do this on a Pi Zero with 512 megs of RAM and a couple of megs of space. As always, I got this Ras Pi 4 sitting around here, so that's what I used. And I have called that one, just for my own reference here, bravepi.local, using the login account Pi and the password Raspberry. So why Brave? What's so good about Brave? Well, Dave likes it. That's what's so good about it. And there we go. There's no browser data collected. There's no user data collected. It's good ad protection and pop-up blocking. It's not perfect. Like I said, I use 2 more ad blockers with it and Pi-hole. Of course, it's free and open source. It's Chromium based. I wrote Mozilla here. It's Chromium based. It's got built-in Tor browser. It supports Web 3, the decentralized web. Not much traction on that yet. It does automatic tracker blocking. It's got Brave rewards. I've abandoned that. Not because it doesn't work, it's just because I became a little uncomfortable with the invasiveness of it. Not my thing. The iOS version has a built-in firewall and a VPN. It's got its own search engine. It's an okay search engine. I'm using Quant, have been for a couple of years. So the first thing to check is, do we have a 64-bit operating system? And from the prompt, you say cat space whack proc whack version. And since we're talking Raspberry Pi, you'll see I've underlined part of the output here. It says AArch64. That's what you're looking for. If you see that, you've got a 64. It doesn't tell you 32 if it's a 32-bit. It just doesn't say AArch. Anything else I want to do there? Okay, so let's, I said switch to putty. I'm not going to switch to putty. I'm going to switch to VNC here. So let's do that and then do everything. Why did that do that? Real VNC. Man, there's always something in there. Did I kill? Oh, I see what I did. Let's try that again. Okay. I want to bring up the terminal here, and we're at a prompt, so let's try that here live. Cat whack proc whack version. And there's our AArch 64. So we got a 64-bit OS on here. Yay! No, I don't want that. I want notes. So we're going to start the project. And the first thing you need is curl. If you've got Raspberry Pi OS, you're doing this on Ras Pi OS, curl is already installed. And the way to check that is to simply say curl space minus minus help. You can even say curl, it'll just do the same thing. And if the curl command isn't in here, all you have to do is sudo apt install curl. Enter. Curl is a utility that reaches out to a web page and downloads whatever's on that page. And so we set up pages so that they have downloadable content for the installation. So we'll do that. Go to notes. This is a long, ugly, complicated command. And I'm not going to explain it all, but what I want you to know is that we're going to curl using some flags here, this minus FSSSL, from this page, some stuff, the keyring GPG, and we're going to add it to a file called keyring.gpg here in the Brave browser area. So buzz, don't worry about it, just do it. Get it from the tutorial, and you can see it happens in literally less than a second. Cool. So now we've got the keys to their repository. Now we have to add the repository. One long, ugly command. And so we're going to echo, we're going to copy all this stuff in between quotes through main into a file called etc apt sources.list.d. That's a folder. Brave browser release list. We hit enter and bam, happened. So all we really did was we added a couple of lines into a file. You could manually go do that if you were insane. What we've done here is created access to 3 different repositories. One's called Brave Browser Archive Keyring GPG, Brave Browser Beta Archive Keyring, and Brave Browser Nightly Archive. So you could slit your own throat on the bleeding edge of technology by unloading this stuff or by loading in the newest, latest, greatest version of Brave's browser that comes out every single day. Those are nightlies. And the stuff that they don't even bring out daily, there's the beta one. So let's take a look at the file that I just created. Paste. So I'm going to find it here, ls. And there is the 3 files that are in there. Browser release, raspi.list. There's 2 in there. They've made a change since the last time I ran this. No big deal. So now, this thing says, cool, I have learned, or I will be able to use some new repositories. Let's get them registered with our old friend sudo apt update. And this will only take a couple of seconds. And what he's doing is reading all the repositories that he ever knew about, plus the new ones that he just learned about. There's the Brave browser here. And don't worry about this error message. Skipping acquire of blah, blah, blah. No impact. And they don't document that in the how-to. That's something I learned by experimentation because I was a little panicky about that. And as long as we're here, let's do an upgrade. Sudo apt upgrade. Let's do -y. You can do it before or after upgrade. That'll take a couple of moments. Oh, no, it didn't. I was current. Nice job. Hey, we are just about done. But here's something that we've got to make a change to. We're going to change a line in a file so that we'll never see that missing thing again. You can ignore it. This next step that I'm going to do, you can completely ignore, but I'm not going to. We're going to edit the source list file. By nanoing it. So we'll sudo nano source list blah 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 the Brave browser release list. Enter. And what I'm going to do, this is in the tutorial, we're going to replace this whole thing that says signed by, everything in the square brackets. So you can't see quite this whole thing here, but notice that it starts a square bracket here, and it goes through here, and then there's some other stuff that goes after that. We need to keep the stuff that's after that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to paste in, need a space there. There we go. The stuff that I copied out. Yeah, don't screw this up. And you see how this ends in keyring.gpg? Well, that's what I want to get rid of the keyring GPG. I want to change it to a new signed. Fine, let me recopy that. Control C. Control V. Control V doesn't work there. You got to do this. Right click, paste. There we go. So now that thing no longer ends in that key ring. It's still there, but we've also added architecture equals ARM64. That's it. None of this is necessary. Just make sure that that message will never happen again when you do an upgrade. So we'll control X, yes, enter. All right. So the Brave browser release.list file has been updated. So another update upgrade just to get those changes to make effect. Sudo apt update. And sudo apt -y upgrade. Nothing should happen here. The update was necessary though. All right, and notice we got no error message this time about missing architectures. So great. All right, it's installed. The repo's installed. It's recognized. All the apps and the operating system are current. So let us now see if Brave is available to be installed from that new repository. We're going to apt search Brave. Had we done this earlier, it would say nothing found. There was nothing about Brave, but now we got a whole bunch of new Bravey stuff. And here's Brave-browser. Stable, runs on ARM64, the web browser for Brave. And there are other support files built within here, and they will be automatically loaded as we need them. So good news, Brave browser is in the repository. Let's install it. And this is usually the last step you have to do when it comes to installing an app in Linux or Raspberry Pi. But there's something wonky about this one. You see up here while that's downloading and installing this internet browser symbol. Well, if we click that at the beginning of this exercise, it would have brought up the Chromium browser. It's a shortcut that points to whatever browser technology we want. What we're going to do is we're going to change that thing from pointing to Chromium to instead point to Brave. You could also make it point to any other browser that you chose to install. Okay, we're doing that. We're doing that. All right. It's actually done, but we got a problem with it. So I'll show you what the problem is. The first time you run this thing, it's going to say, hey, I need a password here. So I'm going to give it a password. My favorite password in Raspberry Pis is Raspberry. 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 Continue. And up comes Brave. And I got to tell you, that comes up about 10 to 20 times faster than Chromium comes up. So we could go someplace here. We can go to YouTube and watch this show. Here's the problem that I haven't bothered to look into and fix. We just set a password and confirmed it. Watcheth thou this. Doesn't do it. Probably after every time you reboot the Pi, it will prompt you for that password. Let's go to someplace cool. Still not the fastest in the world. I cannot wait to get the Raspberry Pi going. There'll be more coming up on this page. How about we check out ADRAMADA? If you look up DRushTX all by itself, there's somebody out there named DRushTI, DRushT. And they get a lot more hits than I do, and they always come up first. ADRAMADA, come on. You should have found it with the DRush in there. Here. Showing results for ADRAMADA DRushT. I just want ADRAMADA DRushTX. There we go. Hey, so that's it. That is how you install the Brave browser. You're going to need that online tutorial to make your life mucho easier. Let's go over here and return to Dave's head. I like Brave. I like Brave a lot. I use Brave. I have used Brave for nigh on 3 years, maybe more, 4, something like that. Yeah, let's close that. And it's good stuff. Oh, cool. We got 7 minutes left. Demo Brave for a moment. Did I put that up? Nah. I don't think so. Let's see. Sorry, I was looking at some slides I made, and okay. Nothing important there. All right, kids. Well, that winds up the show. Let's see what you guys have been talking about. Nothing. You've been watching intently, not seeing terminal. If I meant to show, okay. Yeah, so I didn't show dedicated terminal, but we did the terminal within there. And I'm doing a refresh on that page, so I'll be able to time my departure. Thoughts, questions? What are you guys doing for Christmas? What are you making for Christmas? Tolowit's got an answer to that. That's going to be an embarrassment of meal riches. So anybody who's here, what are you guys doing? I'm doing rib roast. And what else? A lot of keto stuff. That's how it goes, right? I've been asked to bring dessert. Okay, what are you going to bring? You haven't planned a Christmas menu. You have 4 days. You are a chef. You will come up with something in moments. Yeah, I bought the rib roast too long ago. I mean, it's not freezer burn, but it's been in the freezer for a while because the price was right, and I've seen what happens to the prices of rib roast right around Christmas, and I'm unemployed. It was that or hot dogs. I made chili yesterday, so I can make coney dogs. Yeah, right. So Tolo, of course, his father's there. Anybody else coming out, or are you guys going any place? Do a rib roast. Should we do a rib roast in the smoker? Oh, there's an interesting idea. I think I'll check out smoking. Okay, just you and Dad. That's cool. Patricia, are you traveling for to family? Are they coming over there, or is it just you and hubby? Your sister's hosting. First time in decades, someone else is hosting. Her oldest daughter. How fun! Oh, you got to bring a top-notch dessert. Green Jello with marshmallows. You don't get any more top-notch than that. Okay, perhaps not. Me and Dad should get reservations for somewhere. There is a restaurant. I don't know if it's a chain or if it's a local chain or if it's a one-off. I think it's a chain. Let me know. Do you guys have Old San Francisco Steakhouse where you are? Are you familiar with it? I have never been to one, but I have friends, neighbors, and longtime friends, very, very close friends. And that is their annual tradition for Thanksgiving. They go to Old San Francisco Steakhouse. Their hook, for some reason, they always have a tall ceiling, and they have a swing. That was so painful on that arm. That's way high, and there is a lady swinging in the swing all the time. And it's not a restaurant. It's not like she's wearing a short skirt or anything. I think it tends to be old San Francisco, right? Kind of like the old San Francisco 1880s dresses or something like that. I want to do that at least once for Christmas or Thanksgiving, a restaurant. I've never done that. You know what's a tradition? We used to do this when my wife and I were young, and from the time we were dating and not long. A Christmas Eve movie. You go to a movie on Christmas Eve. And if there's anything good out there, I think this seems like a really good time to resurrect that tradition. My son is probably far too cool for that, Mr. 22, 23, whatever it is these days. But he's got a girlfriend here in town, and so I'm sure they'll go find something to do. But we have Morton's, I know Rotens, and I know Ruth's Chris, of course. I know Cattle Company. There's a name that goes before that, right? Highs, Roy's, DK's. If there's words before that, I definitely never heard of Highs. DK sounds like a shortcut for Denny's Kitchen. I didn't say that. Hey, well, everybody, we're done here. We are done for the year. What a fun year it's been. It would be apropos for me to do a big thank you right now. I won't, because I won't remember everybody. But for those of you who are here live with me now, Patricia Grace Tullowit, and the usual crowd who are or will see this in short order, man, I cannot thank you enough for everything that you do, that you have done, all of the work that you do on my old company's Discord server, the support that you give me here in our Discord server, and so much more. You guys are I'm so pleased to be friends of yours. It really does a goodness for my heart here. Got to read the rest here. Columbia and several nice restaurants in St. Augustine that host holiday meals. Very cool. The last three are local. Okay, DK is Chef DK Kodama. Maybe 1 year. Oh, we love you. Oh, man, I love you guys. You are just top notch. Thank you. Hey, well, let's wind this thing up then. I wish you the great rest of the week and a great rest of the year. Have the merriest of Christmas, the happiest of New Year, and any other celebration in which you and the people watching on archive partake. Take care of each other. Take serious steps to stay healthy rest of this year and all of the ensuing years, if at all possible. And I know you guys are both doing it. Our live people here, call or visit your parents. They love you for it, and you will never, ever regret it. Never forget, technology is great. The greatest resource we have are you and I. And with that, good night. I will see you on ADRAMADA next Thursday, not this coming Thursday, but January 4th. And until then, remember, how you do anything is how you do everything. Eep, op, ork, ah, ah.